Good afternoon, Tony Hayes from Paranormal Investigation UK. Today's date is the 18th of October 2022, just come up to 16:38. And today we're looking at a piece of footage which is recorded on a bike GoPro, a motorcycle GoPro, back in the June of 2017. It's a piece of footage that I've had out of for a few years. It's something I did. It's recorded on my own motorcycle. When I returned home, I realised I possibly could hear some voices. I've had it verified from another EVP practitioner as well. So the intention now is to see how well we can clean this up. So that's the reason why I'm doing this tutorial. So this tutorial is based on GoPro. In this case, it's a Hero4 camera, which is on the front fairing of a motorcycle, and we'll see how far we can take this if we can get it any more listenable than what it currently is. So let's have a listen to a few seconds of the original footage. This is the complete. So clearly it's identical bike. It's another Triumph Sprint, and the front of the fairing is where the GoPro's installed with the microphone pointing backwards, the reason why I can hear the engine. And it's on this road and leading into Passendale in Belgium where the voices were heard. So one thing that we don't need is the movie. So what I'm actually going to do with this tutorial is to use two pieces of software. The first one's going to be Mixcraft 9 recording studio. Call them digital audio workstations. There'll be others. There's Audacity, which is free. There's Cubase, Adobe Audition. There's multiple of different types. Is what you feel you prefer to use. So, firstly, what I'm going to do is to actually import the video. This particular software I use, Mixcraft 9. By Acoustica, will separate the visual from the audible. I don't need the visual. I'll get rid of it. So it just leaves the audio stream. Okay. It's a good quality volume level. I think it's an automatic gain control on the GoPro, so it's not quiet. If anything, it's just almost going into the red, but that's fine. That's what it records at. Now the problem is with this, the reason I like to import it into Mixcraft is the file itself is a MP4, if I remember right. It's a bit of a low bit rate, but the problem with it is that if I try to use a reduction software such as WavePad, try to import it, it doesn't recognize the file because it's an AVI. So what I need now to do is, the reason why I put it into Mixcraft initially is just to get rid of the video. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to export it as a WAV file, WAV being uncompressed, completely uncompressed WAV file. And I'm actually going to call this V1. So what I've done is I've got rid of the video, left with the audio, and I'm just going to, as you can see there, it's just to save it as a WAV file. And shut Mixcraft down. I'm now going to open WavePad, which again is free software, as long as you use it for no commercial use, home office only. It is free. I'm now going to import V1 file into there. Note that I've called it V1, meaning version 1, because as I go through the process, I'm going to be resaving files which I need to name differently. Otherwise, it's going to cause confusion. So it's in WavePad now. Okay, so I need to reduce the noise affected. So I've sampled about 8 seconds. It'll take about 10 seconds maximum. And what I do now is go into edit. I'm going to clean it up, noise reduction. And what I'm asking the software to do is to grab that sample that is highlighted, which is what it's done. What I now do is highlight all of it. It's all highlighted, back into edit, back to clean up, noise reduction, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that spectral subtraction. It's going to take out that noise that it's sampled from earlier, and I use 50%, that's the maximum you can go to, and reduce noise. And you'll notice it'll get a lot better. Okay, a lot of the bike noise and wind noise had begun to disappear. It's not got rid of it all, because the last thing I want to do is take the process too far and start to remove audio which I want to keep hold of. So I've just done one attempt. I'm now going to do the same thing. I'm going to save the file as a WAV file. Now I'm going to call it version 2, because this is the second version of the audio. Shut wavepad down. There's version 2. I'll go back into Mixcraft, and I'm now going to import just the sound file, version 2. Bring that in. I don't need the audio tracks, the video tracks, so get rid of that. So already you can see it's got a lot better. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to listen through to see if I can hear any voices. Okay. Right, there seems to be a couple there. So I'm going to highlight and loop it. And what I'm going to do, I'll reduce the loop till I've just got the what sounds like voices. It sounds voice-ish, but is it a voice? That's the question. What I now do on Mixcraft is I go into the main mix track and I select a what they call a spectrum analyzer. In this case, I'm using a legacy system. It's one I prefer. There are other analyzers you can use. It's all down to personal preference, really. And what this will do is it'll give me a visual aid of what the frequency is. Quite a lot of frequency. So what I now do within the track is to bring the EQ up. Now, if you're dealing with a vocal stream, you're dealing from say 320 to about 1000 hertz. Around that area is where you're going to go. Now, what you can do, you could in fact play it back, and simply just keep taking frequencies out so that's what I'll do first. And what I'm doing, I'm listening for that voice, what sounds voice-ish, to disappear, which means I've attacked the frequency that the voice is based on. So that's the area, and as you can clearly tell, it's enhanced it a little tiny bit. because I've used the Go Pro numbers times of reducing unwanted sound within it, I do have a default, because I can actually save that one if I wish to, but I've already got one already lined up, which is called Go Pro Voice Default, which is the one I've used before. Okay, so I've improved it quite a lot there already. So is the volume okay? I've just lifted the volume up a little bit because as I reduce frequency, the loudness will reduce quite markedly. I take the loop off, and now what I do now, because it's going to apply that EQ setting throughout the audio, I'm now going to say that as a WAV file, but again as this time as V3 as a WAV file, and that'll save it. There are voices there that shouldn't be there. The reason why we're interested in this particular audio is I've used this Go Pro for 6 years. I used it yesterday doing an escort on a bike funeral. It just doesn't pick up voices, particularly when it's travelling. So if I was passing a crowd, for example, you might get a second of audio of picking the voices up. But as you can see on the video itself, I don't actually pass anybody, and it stayed there for some time, which is highly suggested that the voice stays within the bike. The other question is it me? I do have an intercom, and so did my cousin on the other bike in front of me had an intercom, and we communicate. Was it picking that up? No, it isn't, because he's never picked it up before. Why would it pick it up on that particular moment? So I'm pretty confident the voices are on there, shouldn't be on there. So what I do the same again is I'm now opening WavePad. Oop, wrong one. Where's it gone? There we are. And this time I'm going to bring a V3 into it. Same again, I'm going to listen to a few seconds and then attempt to do a noise extraction. Yeah, I'll grab that, back into edit, back into clean up, noise reduction, grab the sample area, which is what it's done, highlight all of it, back into edit, clean up, noise reduction. I'm going to leave it at 50% and reduce it, and it squashed it down even further. Right, okay, so can I take it any further? Possibly. So what I can do is I'll highlight this area here. Do the same again, edit, clean up, noise reduction, grab the sample area, highlight all of it, edit, clean up, noise reduction, and apply. I'll do it again. I can go back using the blue arrow backwards. So if I've gone over the top and taken too much out, I can always return back. So what I'm doing is applying the subtraction one stage at a time. So yeah, noise reduction, grab the sample, highlight all of it, clean up. You can reduce that number by 50 to 10, 5%, whatever, it's up to yourself. As you can see, it's taking a little bit more out. Yeah. Okay, so there's certainly what sounds like voices within that stream that shouldn't be there. So what I'll do now is I'll save that. I am going to save it as an MP3 on this occasion, even though I do highly recommend you use WAV files. The reason why I'm saving it as an MP3 because I need to send it to a friend via email, and the file would be too big otherwise. So I've kept the sound, the actual audio, completely uncompressed. And I'm going to compress it into an MP3 just through email, but I will also do a secondary save as a WAV file, which is what I'll do now. So we know this is going to be version 4, so I'll save the file, version 3, version 4, saving as a WAV, and now I'm going to save it a second time as MP3 and save again. So when I now look at version 4, fire up a MIDI player, my mate was saying when he listened to it, it sounded like left, right, left, right, left, right. And it seems to have an accent in there. Considering in Belgium they either speak Flemish or French, we can rule out, there's no one on the video anyway, there's no one walking there, so we can rule that out. But that does sound like left, right. I'll go through the rest of it, save it through. So as a tutorial, hope you found that useful. Okay, see you soon, bye.